Welcome into Game Night Live Rewind. Dusty Lister and Dane Stewart, as always, presented by Haddam and Associates, brought to you by the Utah National Guard. We're outfitted by Black Clover. But Dane, we're talking about mental performances all week long, and we are brought to you by RJ Performance Group.
Yeah, and I want to remind you, if you need to get your mental performance right, maybe you've got a big meeting coming up or things just at home or on the gridiron, wherever you may be, need to get your mind right. There's no one who can help you better than the Riley Jensen Performance Group, the official mental performance coaches of Weber State University, Utah State University, and Real Salt Lake. You can schedule time with Riley Jensen's trusted group of mental performance coaches at rjpg.net.
Absolutely. Well, we're talking to 4A Boys State champion Dallin Grant. And Dane, this is a young man that was part of a team that you were on early. They went through some hiccups and things, and he'll talk about that. But this is an impressive young man and a team that made an outstanding run.
Yeah, they really did, Dusty. A very balanced team and a team that, I felt like had some high expectations coming into the year. Dallin Grant had committed to Utah State University. And when you have that at 4A, a lot of headlights start looking that direction. And we talk about the first round of region play, had a couple of losses there, but they were able to get things right. And the Cedar Reds able to capitalize 21 with a big finish.
Here with 4A state champion Dallin Grant. Dallin, first of all, congratulations on the state championship. Dane believed in you. It's not that I didn't. I just knew that that Region 9 was going to bring the champion. I apologize for missing that one.
Oh no, it's all good. He kind of stole yours if I'm not mistaken. I thought you were going to choose Cedar as well, but
How magical did this year feel? Did you feel like after that Elite 8 tournament, hey, we could win 4A? Or when did that kind of come to reality in your mind?
I think just going into the year, I think I knew that we had a real chance. And really, to me, I think the 2 weeks heading into the state playoffs and stuff, I really had a good feeling about it, and I just kept envisioning us envisioning us winning in my mind. So,
Dallin, the first go around in region play, we talked about how tough that region was. Losses to Dixie and Crimson Cliffs and Desert Hills. Second go around went much better. When did you feel like things maybe turned a little bit, where that belief finally started to kind of come through on the floor, and you're able to win some of those games against really good teams in 4A?
So I think it was tough, especially the first half of the season, because we had a lot of guys missing games because they got COVID and stuff. I had COVID for our first 3 games, so I missed those. And then heading into region play, we had a few guys missing some games here and there, especially during those big games against Crimson Cliffs and Desert Hills, like you mentioned. We were missing some of our big time contributors. So after that, though, after getting everyone back and being able to play together, I think that's when we really saw everything coming together, and that's when we started playing our best basketball.
Well, going into the state tournament, you talk about losing a couple of those games, go through COVID. What was the mindset going into the state tournament? Was this, hey, we're here, here's our chance, or what was that, at least your read on your own team?
I think our mindset was, we're here, we're healthy, we have a full team. We're just ready to just go out and play. And for our seniors this year, we had a lot of seniors, so I think we just went into it it's either win or go home. So we just got to win and keep going towards that state championship.
Dallin, this Cedar team was really, really deep. I kind of I think of you as the headliner. Obviously, future Aggie. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But you think of everybody else on this roster, Santana and Savage, Tebs. So many guys that could contribute on any given night. What was it like to play with a roster that had so much talent as this Cedar Red squad did?
I think it definitely took, making sure that we checked guys' egos and making sure that each guy was okay with a different role each night, because one night I could be leading the team in scoring, and the next night it could be Gage or Trayton or Zab. It was always changing around, and so I think it was just adjusting to each role on a different night, because each of us are going to impact the game in different ways every game.
Dallin, let's talk about when you got into the state tournament and you guys are making this push. Walk us through kind of the mindset as you guys kept winning. How more realistic was it that you guys could get to that championship game?
I mean, we had some tough teams to play. But I really think that, at least in my mind, I had the confidence of winning each game every time we went up, and I really thought we could make a run to the state championship, and like we did. And so, yeah, I don't know. For me, it was just I always had that vision in the back of my mind that we could definitely make it, and I think the other guys did too. I think we really started believing in it after, at the end of region play when we beat Crimson Cliffs and Desert Hills. I think that's when we really started believing that we could go make a deep run.
Dallin, I alluded to it a little bit. Future Utah State Aggie. I know what was so special about Logan. Here's your opportunity. What made you feel like Utah State was that right fit? Coach Smith and company. What was it about Utah State that felt right for you?
For me, I think it was just the effort that the coaches made in getting to know me, and like during the recruitment. I think they were reaching out to me a lot. They were reaching out to me a ton, more than any other school. And so I got to develop a good relationship with each of the coaches there. And then just like looking at their style of play and how they play there, I think that fits me really well. They have a lot of versatile guys that can play like 1 through 4, and I think that fits my play style really well. And then also the city of Logan is just it's a cool place. I had only been up there like 1 or 2 times before that. I hadn't really gotten up there much, but I liked it. I liked the feel. And then also going to one of their games last year, man, like that place is crazy. Like it's the loudest atmosphere I've ever been in for a college basketball game for sure. So I think all those things like kind of came into the decision. And then just like, just like the gut feel at the end of it, really came like that's what it really came down to, is like it felt like the right place, and so that's where I chose to sign.
I love it, man. Go easy on the cheese curds and don't clean the sink too often. You can do it occasionally, but not too often.
Yeah.
Well, that you just be dear and near to Dane's heart. So he was the former leader of the Blue Crew. But here's the fun one too. You talk about getting that win against Desert Hills. You guys had that heartbreaking loss earlier in the year. I mean, however many overtimes it was, and Landic makes that shot. You get the chance at him in the state championship game. Obviously it wasn't revenge on your mind. You knew it would be a good game. Talk to us about those final moments and be able to hold on against the Thunder.
I think everybody was just ready coming out into the game, and I think we all just, we really wanted to win, and so we were just going to play as hard as we possibly could. And I think, I don't know, at the end of the day, we just put together a little bit better of a game against a really good team, and we were able to finish it out.
Well, Dallin, congratulations on an outstanding year. And one last thing, we got to talk about the state championship, right? You guys win. What's it been like for you? I mean, what was it like in that locker room? And then, I mean, that's a pretty decent long bus ride home. You guys had the rule in the locker room, hey, ain't nobody riding home with their parents. This is one last ride with the boys. What was that like?
Yeah. Oh man, that was crazy. I mean, at the end of it, I had a pretty bad headache, but it was all worth it. Especially going into the locker room, it was crazy. And like right after the game, just celebrating with everybody. But yeah, and then the bus ride home, it was good. It was pretty crazy. And then right as we got into town, we were met by some fans and stuff. And then we got up on top of a fire truck actually, and then rode down Main Street with everybody like following us, kind of like a little parade. And then we ended up back at the high school where everybody was there just to celebrate, and it was really cool. Something a really good experience.
Oh man, that's so awesome. I mean, those are moments and things you'll never forget. But congratulations, Dallin, again on an outstanding career. Congratulations on the state championship, and let your coaches know, and let whoever handles the Twitter handle know. We both got love and respect for the Cedar Reds. So they appreciate you, man, and congratulations.
Thank you.
It's fun to talk to Dallin because you can see not too high, doesn't get too low, but I mean, you deal with COVID, you deal with all kinds of stuff. I mean, when you're trying to have your best senior year, and you mentioned him, you're a 4A player, you're going to go play Division I, a lot of eyeballs on you, and you can see how he just stays pretty even keeled. That should serve him well.
It really should. And it was one of the things, I was talking with some of the coaches with Cedar after this tournament run, and they said, he was drawing double teams every night. I mean, the other teams recognize how good Dallin is, and so they try to slow him down, and it did require a bunch of different guys to step up. And he talked about, setting aside the egos and everyone just recognizing that on one night it might be your night, and on the next night it might be someone else's, depending on what the defenses give them. And to come back from what was, a region start where they lost to three really good teams in that region, had to come back and play much better the second half around and able to get their minds right and minds focused. And you talk about the adversity of COVID. It's one of the things why so grateful for our Riley Jensen Performance Group partnership is, this is how we develop more mental toughness, going through these times and coming out stronger and ahead. And that was kind of the story of the year for the Cedar Reds, and awesome for them to be able to come out and capture the school's first basketball state championship since 1995. Been a long time. And this senior group, the ones able to do it, led by Dallin Grant, who had a fantastic year this year at Cedar.
He absolutely did. And I loved when he talked about the bus ride from the South Sevier Center all the way to Cedar City. And he had a headache. And I just told that just because guys are still just jacked. I mean, that's a 3-hour bus ride, man. And that just got to feel so good to go back with your guys, because there's only two options. Either you're going back, you're getting a headache because you're having a blast, or you're going back because you have a headache because you're just crying all the way home thinking about the time it had been. But that was just so awesome. And go ahead.
And how cool is Well, I was going to say, how cool is it when you talked about the parade, right? And the opportunity for the fire truck and community coming out. That's what's awesome. We don't see that in the Valley so much, and awesome to be able to hear those moments make an impression on young men and things that they'll be able to remember. You see those a lot of the professional ranks, and cool for a city like Cedar to be able to celebrate this group in the way they did.
Absolutely. Again, congratulations to the Cedar Reds. I want to thank Dallin Grant for joining us. For Vince Francis, Dallin Grant, and Dane Stewart, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and watching Game Night Live Rewind.